Alright, and we're back. Hello. We're doing some Reddit stories and Animal Crossing before bed. I don't know, I liked that format before, so I'm gonna try it out. We're gonna do legal advice. I thought this sounded interesting. Maybe we'll do more of this if people like it. I don't know. But it was gonna do Fortnite, but I'm a little tired, so I think we'll do Animal Crossing instead. Hello everyone, this is Tom Nook. It's 11:11. Make a wish, everyone. It's happy Saturday, August 2nd, 2025. Now for today's news. Grand Museum has opened up here on Santeria. Did you hear about it yet? Oh, let me reopen my Caster Labs. 1 second. Okay, sorry. I don't think it connected to YouTube. Oh yes, it's a grand museum indeed, with separate exhibit rooms for fish, bugs, fossils, and even works of art. Blathers, the museum curator, says he's always available to accept donations or assess fossils. Museum admission is free, so stop by whenever you like. By the way, whenever we cover big island developments like this, we'll hold a special commemorative ceremony afterward. We'd like as many folks as possible to take part, so stop by residential services. That's all from me. I do hope you all enjoy another fine day of luxurious Santoria 11. Okay. So we're doing best of r/legal advice. And our, ooh, we gotta... let me check. There we go. Gulliver, thanks for sending me thanks for helping me escape your quaint little island of Santeria. Literal lifesaver like you deserves a reward, so please accept the souvenir for my travels. See you soon, probably. Awesome. Check the beach. Greetings from our happy home academy. Our goal? Yeah, give me this. Oh wait, I have a home now. I earned 31 bells. Awesome. Okay, let me pull up everything. There we go. So, our first story is called, I think my boyfriend has been drugging me to make me forget things. He is a doctor. But, I don't think that he's actually doing, I don't think that's what's going on. It sounds kind of like there's more. Let me clean my glasses off. Hey, so I must apologize if this post is jumbled a bit. I started typing it up on Word yesterday before my date and forgot it. Oh, okay, please go away. I forgot about it before finishing today. I think my boyfriend has secretly been drugging me for a while now and is gaslighting me. I know this is going to be hard to explain, but I have been having gaps in my memory that I have been explaining away as being tired or overworked or whatever else. I was going to ask my boyfriend about it since he is a doctor. Then I started to notice that this seems to happen when I go on dates with him. I know this must be crazy, but I have woken up with dried semen on my breast several times with no memory of the night before. I know it's him, as, well, I won't get into specifics, but he likes that kind of thing more than other guys would. Oh. Gross. The first time it happened was when we were drinking, and I wrote it off as too much to drink. We get drunk and have sex all the time, so it's not a big deal to me. Then there were a few times when I know we were not drinking. I decided to break up with him over it, only to suddenly find myself on a date with him a few days later. I had not yet had the conversation to break up with him, but planned on it the next time I talked with him. I remember being at the restaurant, but nothing before that. My car and his car were on the parking lot too, so I was confused. I decided to play along when he asked me to come back to his place. After 3 days at his place, I remember everything, so I started to trust him again. Knowing he was an ENT, I know I won't be his forte, but he is a doctor. I was going to ask him about my issues when he randomly pointed out these red bumps on my thigh and said I should be treating those sores. I had completely forgotten they were there. I've completely forgotten they were there. Those little red bumps that look like needle injections that got infected. I got so freaked out when he mentioned them that I decided to leave. Okay. I'm sick and tired of it. Oh, wait. The next day, he came over to check on me, and I remember waking up in bed with more dried semen on my chest. Then today, he met me for lunch saying we had agreed to meet. I never agreed to me and him and would never want to. I never agreed to meet with him and never want to. He does this all the time, saying we agreed to do something I have no memory of. I'm sick and tired of it and want him punished. This has started to affect my work life as well. I start to get paranoid when I see a boss walk into the room after making eye contact with me. I get paranoid that they're about to fire me. My friends also state that I've been acting strangely and out of character. I've even begun to lose sleep and sleepwalk when I do. Is there a way to have blood work done to see what kind of drug he's using on me? I do not want the police to blow me off and push me away as some crazy lady. So I want to be damn sure when I go to the police. Okay. Why is this in Best of Legal Advice? And why are people saying... The top comment is former professional pest control guy with lots of experience with bed bugs. I will happily answer any questions about bed bugs. Why are people asking about? Why are they saying that? You mentioned red bumps on your thigh, insomnia, memory loss, paranoia, and anxiety. Pull the sheets off your mattress, please. Check the little creases for brown specks or encrusted brown flakes. These symptoms sound eerily familiar to what happened with a friend of mine. We thought he was going crazy. Turns out he was having a severe reaction to long-term bed bugs. You mentioned that you remember everything that happened at his place, but as soon as you get home, it started up again? Bed bugs can cause psychological symptoms if the reaction is strong enough. I would check the lip of the mattress first to see if you have bed bugs. Oh, crap. Does it look like dried chocolate or poop chunks along the seams of the mattress? Yes. Is that what you see? Yes. All along the left side of my mattress by the wall. Oh! Oh! You might actually want to get rid of your mattress. If you plan on going to a family member's house, put all your clothes in a dryer on high heat. If you have a lot of laundromat, it might be cheap. Oh! Oh! So it is bad. Why did you tell us all of that stuff and it's just bed bugs? Okay, but what about the dried semen? What about that part? What? Okay. Is that just not going to be addressed? I guess it's not going to be addressed. Okay. It's likely your friends slash BF slash family also have bed bugs now. If you've been to their place, they need to know. Go see a doctor immediately. Let them know your concerns and what you found on the mattress. Find your peace of mind. Get the rape kit done as well if you need it. Okay. Alright, well. Next one. My 21 male Tinder girlfriend of 3 months is actually dangerously underage. 15 female. Oh, Lord! Okay. Posted this on r/relationships and got advice to put it on here. Some more things to the best of my knowledge. She would never do anything to hurt me, which includes tattling to her parents. From what I've known, she doesn't have a good relationship with them, and they've put her in some of the hardest places before. Or at least I hope not. I've been looking to settle down recently and met a gorgeous girl on Tinder, where we hit it off instantly. And I've been pursuing a relationship for the past 3 months. Yes, this includes the physical side, obviously before I found out her real age. We have discussed age-specific things before, and she always seems so well-versed in her high school days and uni work that I never even noticed anything was up. The age on her profile is 19. And I never, And I never thought to doubt it because she looks like about 20 anyway. Has the maturity of someone around that age too. Oops, let me drop this. She asked me to grab some cash out of her wallet yesterday and I found an old ID with her real birth year on it, 2003. I haven't confronted her on it and I personally have no idea how to even begin. I was falling in love with her and now I feel completely duped. Obviously, I hadn't pursued any sexual stuff with her after I found out, but I'm so heartbroken. I'm not a pedophile, but really have no idea how to deal with this. Any advice is appreciated. TLDR, been unknowingly fucking and falling in love with a 15-year-old the past 3 months. Oh, Lord. Gather any evidence if you can of her pretending to be 19, screenshots of her Tinder profile, text, etc. Then once you have as much evidence as you can, end the relationship. I would recommend trying to end the relationship on polite, respectful terms, or she may seek revenge and accusations. Don't mention this to anyone in your real life unless it's a lawyer you're having a consultation with. Wouldn't this be a strict liability issue, so screenshots of her saying she's 19 mean nothing, or am I wrong? The benefits of having the evidence, even if it's a strict liability restriction, are that 1, it may convince the DA to decline to prosecute. Prosecutorial discretion still exists in strict liability cases, or 2, act as a mitigating factor in charging/sentencing. Depends on the state. Oh, this is really rough. End it now. You still have a defense because you had sex under the impression that she was over 18. Now you are aware that she's underage and you won't have a defense if you continue the relationship. The minute you do something she doesn't like or her parents find out, no matter what... Okay, wait. Blathers, I want to give you my fossils. Oh man, this sounds really rough. In some places, ignorance is an excuse. You could be looking at prison time. Run, don't walk to a lawyer. Stop talking to her, stop all communication, prepare to hire an attorney you may need when statutory rape is no joke. This is horrible. This is horrible. Cut contact immediately, block her on everything, and seek relationship or legal advice ASAP. Age of consent in Australia. No, you're not in Australia, are you? Oh man. Oh yeah, location Australia. Okay. Oh man. That's horrible. A guy died 62 minutes before midnight. Insurance company says they're not paying out as my dad's time of death is in dispute. Can you assess some fossils for me, Blathers? There we go. We got a fossil right there. In my dad's place of work, they have insurance that covers a scenario where if the employee dies whilst having a child under the age of 18, then that child will receive $100K and the remaining balance of the mortgage paid off, so the child and his mother can live in the property free of any mortgage. My dad died in January this year. The time of death was documented to be 10:58 p.m. I would have been turning 18 just an hour and 2 minutes later. When my dad officially passed, I was under 18 and I was eligible for the financial assistance package above, or so I thought. After putting in the claim via his employer, my mother was told to get a death certificate, my birth certificate, and the final balance of the mortgage from Lloyd's and send it directly to the insurance. 2 weeks passed before we got a response from the insurance saying they're passing the information on to their medical underwriters for a second opinion and have requested my dad's medical records. A whole month later, they told us that they were seeking expert opinion from multiple medical third parties and had put the claim on hold. Today, almost 4 months on from the last letter from the insurance, we received a huge 235-page report via courier, which in short says that the insurance would not be paying out any money as my dad's time of death is disputed, and that he could have had a heart rhythm for at least 2 hours after his death. Oh, the insurance says the claim is only valid if the patient is asystotal, and there's no proof of it. That it's conceivable that my dad lived beyond my 18th birthday? Me and my mom don't really understand all the jargon in these documents, and simple Google searches aren't really helping us, so I've been able to find anything like this ever happening. What can we do here? Are lawyers who could help us with this? And alright, top comment is, as a medic, you can be dead and not in asystole flatlined. All the ECG shows is electrical activity in the heart, not whether the pump is actually mechanically pumping. There are many people who have pulseless electrical activity in the heart for some time after death. That does not mean they are alive. Unless your hospitals are very different from the ones here, your father would have been hooked up to an ECG for 2 hours post-mortem. He would have been brought elsewhere quickly to clear the room for the next... Oh, he would not have been. He would have been brought elsewhere quickly to clear the room for the next emergency. The insurance company has no proof that he had electrical activity in the heart, although the opposite of true, for you not having proof he didn't. The mental gymnastics of this policy are astounding. By this logic, anyone with a pacemaker is basically immortal. The batteries last like 20 years and keep firing even if the heart is too dead to respond. My point is, challenge this. Your insurance company are not medical professionals and will be rebuked quickly by anyone with an ounce of medical knowledge. They're bullshitting you because they can. Time of death is a hard statistic. Whether he could have had rhythm is academic. He was dead. This is a case where your response is no. Alright. Firstly, my condolences for the loss of your father. To me, it appears the insurance companies are playing silly buggers, and like all good underwriters will do this, try and wiggle out of the claim on the basis of pure speculation. Unless there's evidence to prove the contrary, then your father passed away at 10:58. If that is the time on the death certificate, then that is the time he passed. Because medical experts who the insurance have consulted are willing to give their opinion on the matter doesn't change the proven fact that a medical expert has concluded that your father passed at the time given. You and your mother should contact the Citizens Advice first thing tomorrow and get some legal advice with someone who can help you draft an appeal to the insurance company, and then one to the final ombudsman if the insurance uphold their initial decision. I would be very surprised if the insurance company went all the way to court with this. The ombudsman should slap them down and give you compensation for what the insurance has tried to pull on you here. This is... oh man, this one's making me depressed. Oh. Alright, update. My neighbor's child has disabilities and won't stop climbing the fence, entering my house, and freeing my dogs. I'm sad about this update for the kid. I took the majority of the given advice and I called the police. Wait, original post. Let's go read that one. For the past 7 months after moving into my new house with my daughter and dogs, the neighbor's child, who's 15/16, has pretty severe Down syndrome, has increasingly been entering my property and home. At first, I just talked with the neighbors, and they were at first really sorry and vowed to monitor her more while she's in their backyard. However, after a few months, they just genuinely do not care anymore and brush it off. I've installed security cameras in the backyard and the front yard, purely for my own safety, insurance-wise, because we do not have a pool. Or we do have a pool. She will climb the fence into my yard, 6-foot wooden privacy fence, with a ladder from their shed, and let my dogs out. Oof. Oh no. I fixed her letting my dogs free, as she says, by using chains and padlocks on the 2 gates. Before this became a common occurrence, she even would have let the dogs out of the house and then free them. Numerous times if my garage door is open, she will leave their backyard and just walk onto my house and free my dogs. I don't know what the purpose is other than something she just has to do for whatever reason. When she climbs into the backyard, sometimes when I'm not even home and cannot get back out, she begins screaming and crying and just shuts down. Before I started chaining and locking my gates because of her releasing my dogs, her parents would just walk in and get her to leave. Now since I've chained it, they started having a huge fit about me having locked her in my backyard, and they have to climb the fence, bring the ladder over, and carry her back. Somehow this is my fault. What the hell? Now I'm really blaming her because she's mentally... No, I'm not really blaming her because she mentally doesn't know any better. But she has some severe issues, and damn lucky my dogs are super nice. Purebred German Shepherd. An English Bulldog and a mixed Shepherd/Bulldog. I just honestly worry about her safety in the backyard. Climbing fences and seemingly not watched as she needs to be. I have a pool, and if she falls in when I'm not home, she could very well drown. That's why I installed security cameras to cover my own ass if that ever happens. I truly hope it never does. But, it seems her parents just put her in the backyard and that's it. I've called the local Child and Family Services Office, CPS, several times in the past 2 months to report it because I feel she's at risk with her parents' inattentiveness and their seemingly not caring attitude of her just... Look, I don't know. It's really a very rare situation where even neglect is kind of worse than CPS. Like, unless she's genuinely at risk of dying, CPS will almost always be a worse option than her, like, starving to death. CPS will put you somewhere horrible, way worse than anything else. And anyone who has never dealt with them has no idea. And they're, like, CPS is some of the worst stuff that you could possibly do to a family, to a person, to anything. You will scar a child for life and they will never be okay again. They will always have permanent issues because of CPS. CPS is horrible. I don't know a very good time unless the child is literally on the brink of dying, and then it's better to just call the cops. And but don't get CPS involved ever if you don't need to. Anyway, I feel like I've done everything I can. Talked to the parents numerous times, called Child and Family Services, installed cameras, locked my gates further. I have no idea what to do now. I've debated calling the police, and when she enters, I just don't know how that will escalate. Alright, and let's see the update. Sad about this update for the kid. I took the majority of given advice and called the police, non-emergency service, and asked for an officer to come out because I had questions about an issue I'm having and briefly explained it. Officer shows up, I invite him and explain the whole situation. He isn't really sure about what to do about it right now, and he asks for a supervisor to come to his position. Supervisor shows up and oh, wait, 1 second. We'll read that in a second. Let's just look at this for now. The HHA even sent rewards. Cool. Brings us to 98,000 bells. Okay. Nook Miles ticket. Awesome. Well, let's give you some of our bells. You. I would like to sell. Oh, what's your proposal? Collaborating. Building a new shop. Okay. What do you need? Gather up materials, trees, and rocks. Okay. Sure. Okay, what do I need? 30 pieces of regular wood. Each. Okay. And then 30 stones? Did you say 30 stones or 30 iron nuggets? What do you need again? 30 pieces, 30 iron nuggets. Oh, that's crazy. Okay. Well, I guess we'll go, we'll start selling some stuff first. Let's just get rid of our fruits. Anyway, I'm sad about this update for the kid. So officer shows up, I invite him, and explain the whole situation. He isn't really sure about what to do, so he asks for a supervisor. Come to his position. Supervisor shows up, go over the whole thing again. We go upstairs to my computer where I have all the videos clipped and saved. 9 times of her entering the backyard and 4 of her entering the house through the garage. We watched each one, and he gets on his cell phone and goes back in the car. A few minutes later, he comes back with 3 flash drives and asks me to copy the videos over to the drive and had me fill out a piece of paper stating what I had put on the drive and then signed it. I repeated it all 3 times. About 45 minutes later, after we've been talking and he's been on and off his cell phone the entire time, 2 CPS workers show up and review the videos again, and I'd take a complete statement from me going back to the first time it happened. This took about 2 hours because they wanted to be precise and accurate as I remember, as precise and as accurate as I remember it, and left out anything I wasn't 100% sure on. Oh, I need to get more branches and then stone for that axe so that I can get his stuff. Let's pick up all of this stuff so that we can donate it. Officers and CPS workers head next door to talk to the parents. Parents apparently shut the door in their faces and said they didn't want to talk, but because of my statement and the videos of her climbing over, getting stuck, and having to be carried back over several times, while I was at work or gone and just entering the house, they had probable cause to enter the home anyways. After they were inside the house for about 10 to 15 minutes, another cop car shows up, followed by another a few minutes later. I'm in my garage, so I don't exactly know what's happening inside. But after more officers show up, and the father was put in the back of a car and daughter was put into the CPS workers van and they left. The father was driven away about 10 minutes after that, and after an hour later, the mother is also put into the back of a car and then they drive away. I talked to the initial officer that showed up and asked for a supervisor, and he tells me he found drugs. Pills not in prescription bottles, / not their prescriptions, and the home was just not being taken care of inside, and definitely not a safe environment for a child. Said they found drugs not secured in the areas the child had access to them. I haven't seen them since the day after the post. I feel bad for the kid being in this situation, and me being a neighbor not even knowing, and my not wanting to call the cops. I didn't think it was anything like they found. I just figured it was really tough raising a kid, and add on top of that severe mental disabilities, and it's even tougher. I should have called them earlier once CPS reports Oh. Okay. Well, let's see what the top comments are. I'm so sad about this update for the kid. Yeah. Oh, there's no comments. Okay. LAOP's boss has... Legal Advice OP's boss has scheduled everyone he found out was voting against his candidate for the exact hours the polls are open. Turns out that's illegal. Okay. Boss schedules me from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. the exact time the polling station is open. What can I do? Boss found out I was voting for Phil Bredesen last Friday, and all of a sudden next Monday he changes the overtime schedule, making me and the others who would not vote. Wait, can I not donate? Sorry, 1 second. I'd like to donate. I don't have anything that you need? Do you need everything at once? Because I have stones, and I have an iron nugget. Oh, that's ridiculous. Okay. He needs 30 of everything at once? Alright, so, this is also very odd considering we work from 7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. or 7 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Never this weird schedule. Is there anything I can do to vote without potentially feeling repercussions at work? I don't really care if I get fired over leaving early to vote because obviously I'd like to keep my job. Your boss screwed himself on payroll by thinking himself so clever. You and your coworkers are entitled to 3 hours of paid time off to vote. And you said it's overtime? Make sure you thank him for that generosity. Kindly refer to your management to this law. Title 2, Chapter 1. You better make a request now according to that document. The employer may specify the hours during which the employee may be absent. Application for such absence may be made to the employer before 12 o'clock noon the day before the election. Okay. So, that boss really screwed himself, I guess. God, this is insane voter suppression. The law in Tennessee states that you have to give employees 3 hours paid to vote if they ask you by noon the day before. You could argue that you didn't even know your schedule had changed till noon the day before. Important question, how big is your company? Do you have an HR department? If you do have an HR, then go tell them and tell them about this right now. Plan on leaving today to go vote. Either leave 3 hours early or take a long lunch break to go vote. If he tries to fire you for this, I'm pretty sure you'd have a shot at fighting it, as a firing would cause and get unemployment easily due to the incredibly short notice of schedule change and the fact that this is an obvious voter suppression. Voting is an incredibly important right, and he doesn't just get to decide you don't vote. Honestly, it's starting to look for another job no matter what because of this made it clear. Oh, start looking for another job because of this right away, because he's made it clear that he's unprofessional and will fuck with your life over this. You're in the Chattanooga area, need a ride. Several places will help you. Off the top of my head, I know JJ's Bohemia downtown is helping voters. Okay. Wow, what an idiot. The boss thought, oh hey, I'm gonna stop people from flexing their rights and actually voting because I don't like who they're gonna vote for. And, oh man, I wonder if he got in actual legal trouble for that. I wish there was an update, but I don't see any update. Alright, well, what do we got next? That's a little short one. You can't pass through another country, break a law there, and then claim you're not subject to the law because you were just passing through. Okay? I was charged for not having insurance in Alberta, Canada, and the fine is $2,500 to start, but in my home state, Virginia, it's not mandatory. Did you really think that going to another country would not make you subject to those laws? I'm traveling to Alaska to visit family. I live in Virginia. On my way there, I was charged with stunting and not having insurance while I was in Alberta. My car was put in an impound for a week before they released it to me. The cop told me my license was suspended for a week too, but I have a Virginia license and not a Canadian one. Also, he charged me for not having car insurance, but in Virginia, it's not mandatory, and I paid the $500 fee that allows me to forego insurance. The fine for no insurance starts at $2,500. I couldn't believe it when he told me. He said if I was in Ontario, it would be $5,000. I don't even understand why the fees are that high. I already have my car back, but I still have to deal with no insurance and stunting, and I was told I have to appear in court. They gave me subpoena so I have to. Now I have a Virginia license. Now because I have a Virginia license, were they allowed to tell me I can't drive for a week? And what do I do about the insurance? Because law is different where I live. Can I have it thrown out? I'm lost when it comes to Canadian law, so any help is appreciated. Let's make another axe. You're not in America and have to abide by the laws of the countries you are in. Regardless of length of stay and origin, you can get certain insurances for international travel or for a certain time period. Sucks, but you've been caught breaking the law. Here in Canada, you must have vehicle insurance in all provinces. If you come to Canada, you must abide by Canadian law. To be honest, I find it pretty shocking that insurance isn't required where you're from. What happens if you get into an accident, you were stunt driving and killed someone? You'd be sued for millions. Canadian provinces require auto insurance. You are in a Canadian province, and by not having insurance, you committed an offense. Your living in Virginia has nothing to do with the laws of Alberta, and you are in Alberta. Oh man, did he really think that nothing would happen? Did he really think that he could get it tossed out because he doesn't live in Canada? So he doesn't need insurance? Are you kidding me? Bro, what? Are people that, like, daft? You will be judged on the laws where you are, not American law. In the States, you have to be 21 to drink. Your Virginia license will allow you to drink in Alberta pub at 18. At least in court, you can plead your case and maybe explain the mitigating circumstances, but you are at the end of the day responsible for following the laws where you are. Yeah, I thought that was just kind of like a known thing. Why would you travel to another country and not look up the, like, road laws there? Oof, that one sounds depressing. Mom takes suicidal girl to psychiatrist. Shrink brush it off as a dramatic teen girl. Teen hangs herself hours later. Arrested for being a felon in possession of a firearm and detained for 62 days, losing their job and savings in the process, except LAOP isn't a felon? What? Okay. I was arrested, kept in jail for 62 days, and then released after the DA finally got around to my case. I did nothing wrong. Okay, so a few days ago, I was released from county jail after being held for 62 days. I lost my job, didn't pay rent for 2 months, almost 3. Now my car is in the process of being put up for auction and they won't release it? I was arrested for felon possession of a firearm. I'm not a felon and have never been one or had anything expunged at the time of arrest. I didn't even have a firearm on me. And reckless endangerment, firing a weapon at the side of a building. Again, something I did not do. I had an initial appearance thing that in the jail over video when I was given a public defender who was completely and absolutely useless. I'm not sure if this is the norm for public defenders, but they did say anything I told him at the appearance. But he didn't say anything I told him at this appearance, and I had because a simple background check shows I didn't have a felony. And on the night this all allegedly happened, I was out of state, plane tickets and hotel with work. He literally just said not guilty, then asked for a signature bond. Judge or magistrate guy denied it because felon with a firearm is a huge thing. So I then sat in jail for a total of 60 days before my public defender even came to see me. I tried to call him every day with the phones and the number on the paper I had, but he was never in and never came to see me. I could afford a regular attorney who walked around $2,500 even... What? Who wanted... They wanted $2,500 just to start a criminal case. I don't really have family or super close friends to call for help. I was fired from work, obviously, and now I'm late on rent. Oh, and will be evicted probably because I can't pay without a job, and I definitely don't have $2,100 for rent on the 3 months I'm about to owe. When he finally came and saw me 2 days before my next... Ah! Oh lord, oh lord, oh, come on. Sorry. Oof, okay. I got mail. At the appearance, I got sorry computer error. You're free to go, and I was released. What can I do for any of this? Apparently someone with the same name but a different date of birth shot a building after a fight and is a felon. But I sat in jail, lost my job, can't even get my car back because they say unless I pay some crazy fees. How am I liable for these fees if it was an error? This is Madison, Wisconsin. Edit. Thank you for the replies, guys and gals. I contacted the Wisconsin branch of the ACLU tomorrow and I'll see what they say. Where to go from here. Also, I appreciate the messages offering to keep or help me if I need it, but I can kind of survive frugally on my credit cards. If absolutely need be, and I will be contacting my boss tomorrow also to explain the situation. Edit 2. Clear up more confusion about my car. The city had towed it by a local company they are contracted with. Do I have 30? I have 30 of that. I have 30 of that, and I need one more for 30 of that. Clear up more confusion about my car. The city had towed it by a legal company. Towing company that has my vehicle told me the city can waive their percentage and pay the rest to them. I can't get my car, but told good luck. Also, their policy is only to store a vehicle for 90 days before auctioning the car. Oh, man. Let's see what the top comments are. Seems like a clear violation of Fifth Amendment rights. This would not be... OP's lawyer pretty certainly waived speedy trial in that initial hearing? Oh, man. Once you're arrested, keeping you in jail until your trial is pretty common and not considered a constitutional law violation. We can discuss morals of it if you wish, but the Supreme Court precedent is pretty clear. What's the practical reason for this? As a layperson, this sounds crazy to me. Does due process mean anything? It has to include a system that considers how reasonable an innocent person might act. Nobody in their right mind would ever sign away their right to not sit in jail for 2 months. Fast trial isn't necessarily good for a defense either. Both sides need time to make a case. Past that, if delay means that there can be an amicable resolution versus a trial, that's also better for both sides. Oh. Alright, let's get another one. Picked up by secret police style by the feds at a protest and has not been seen or heard from since? Okay. There is not enough information there. That's tiny. A big hi, and we think you're awesome too. To her professors who helped her with uni's refusal to allow her to testify at the trial of her rapist. My school overpaid me. What do I do? Pay them back? In August, in my school, USC gave me my student loans, like normal. In October, I received an email saying I owed them about $9,000. I thought this was an error, so I contacted my financial and aid via email. They told me that the school had made an error which resulted in overpayment and that I now owe them $9,000 or else I will be barred from enrolling and graduating. Yeah, okay, can I donate to you? Thank you so much for helping us. Right now you have some softwood, wood, and hardwood. Do you want to donate 30 of each? I do. One last bit. Let me offer you a shaved ice cream maker, a checkered muffler, and a fortune-telling set. Awesome. We love your cooperation donating the last type of material we need. Okay. Anyway. I had spoken with every department and all they said that, yes, it was their fault, but I need to pay them back. Is there anything I can do? Is this fraud? Ideally, I would like to defer the payment to go along with my student loans in the future. I don't see that because of their mistake, it is stopping me from getting my credential needed to make money to pay them back. Where'd the 9,000 go in 3 months? Top comment. I'm confused. Did you take out more student loans than you needed and now have to pay them back? If so, get a refund of the excess amount, use that money to pay it back. Or did you not take out enough loans and now you owe them tuition? If so, contact your loan provider and see if you can increase the amount. It sounded like the first situation to me. When I was in graduate school, I received student loans for more than the amount of tuition, the excess of which I used for living expenses. That was all above board for me at the time. OP might well have done the same thing, not realizing that something his type of loan precluded it. Oh, shaved ice cream maker. That's awesome. Regardless, if he had the money to hand, I doubt he'd be posting here in fear that his credential will be withheld. It's above board still, I think. If he took out the loan, then the university should not be concerned about it. He owes it in repayment, like all the other loans that he got. Let's see, where's OP? Where's OP? Oh. Oh, it's hidden because so many downvotes. Alright. Let's go find those. None of the above. They credited me with more than what was supposed to get without ever telling me. They admit it was their mistake. And okay. And then what happened to that money? Next person says, let's try this. Checkered muffler. Oh, I love that. I love that. That's amazing. Okay, so money from loaner XXXXX given to me to pay back after I graduate. Money from loaner XXXXX plus YYYYY given to me at once when I was due to receive loans as normal. Normal amount I usually get. XXX plus XXXXX I knew beforehand I would repay after I graduate. YYYYY loans equal they gave me erroneously that are making me pay back to them before I graduate. Does that make sense? Yes, you took the money from them for which you were not entitled. They want you to pay it back. You're required to pay it back, even if it was not your fault. You're required to pay it back, even if it was their fault. Does that make sense? So what if someone says, hey, I'll give you some money to be decided, then when I figure it out, you can pay me back in 2 years, and this is verified by the contract between us. Then they give you the money that they figured out that you would need. They never contact you, blatantly saying they messed up, and you got a letter in the mail 6 months later saying you owe them money. Then you call the person you had a contract with, and they say, oh, yeah. So when we gave you money, that money we gave you was too much. Oops, our bad. You need to give it back right now. If the one person in this scenario is you and the other is your school and the loan is your student loan, so they paid you more than your loan covered, then yes. Why? I didn't take it. They gave it to me. They gave it to you by mistake, and then you took it. I get that you don't want to pay it back. I get that you think it's not fair and that it should be different. But the legal situation is not based on what you want or how you think it should be. You owe the money, you have to pay it back. You can then hold your record they can hold your record / graduation until you do. Sucky or not, it's the reality of the situation. That's irrelevant regarding this situation. No, it's not, because you owe them the money. If you have it already, then it is a problem that solves itself. Why can I repay the rest of my loans after I graduate, but this amount they gave me erroneously that I didn't ask for, I have to pay now? What if they accidentally gave you less money than they should have? Would you just say, oh well? Of course not. I'm guessing they want it back now because the money they gave you was not student loan money, but their own money. It wasn't a loan, it was an overpayment. And you have to pay it back because it's not part of your student loans. And then after that, the thread got locked because quote, locked because OP didn't want to hear the truth and can't remain civil to people trying to help him for free. Oh, that's rough. Fishy, come on. Fishy. All right. Next one. Wants a religious exemption from the vaccine, except they're Catholic, and the Pope explicitly said Catholics should get the vaccine. Their infertility issues were due to androgen insensitivity. Their stupid colleagues wrongfully decided that this means they're trans and vandalized their car. Now their boss is blatantly discriminating against them, complete with email evidence for their lawyer. Okay. My wife and I have already got in touch with a lawyer, and she's already reported vandalism to the police. She's going to have to find another job as her boss is escalating the harassment himself. He sent an email to her last night that she'll be forbidden from using women's clothing and be required to cut her hair short to be on par with the dress code for men in the workplace, as her cross-dressing, to put it in her boss's word, has made her co-workers uncomfortable. He then completely dehumanized her in the process. And, with this response to her clarifying her genetic issues? You are not and never will be a woman, as you are a mutilated and mentally unwell man. I will never consider a person with testes and an XY chromosome who cannot menstruate to be a woman. A woman gives birth to a child and then nourish their offspring with their natural breasts, while you can lack the capability to do so as man cannot. My question now is, would it be possible for my wife to sue him for both discrimination and sexual harassment over this response? And how would she proceed with this? Holy fucking shit. I teach androgen insensitivity syndrome to first-year underground psych students. This shit isn't difficult to understand. The only part about her that is male is her chromosomes. That's it. She may have been born with internal or external testes, but she was also born with a vagina and, depending on age, probably has other external genitalia removed before she was even aware. Women with AIS tend to actually be far more feminine than average and have basically no idea that they're genetically male until they fail to menstruate and are eventually seen by a doctor. Of course, if your wife was trans, this would still be unacceptable. But sweet baby Jesus, this is ridiculous. I'm so sorry you and your wife are experiencing this. That's crazy. Wait, what do I do with this if I already know it? This guy is in for some very unpleasant times, and no one deserves it more. Forward and back up all of this correspondence. Oh my gosh. Sue all possible parties, let them and the judge work out who gets the bigger bending over. And sue them for everything you possibly can, because holy crap, that business absolutely screwed themselves left, right, and center. Oh. Bells. Only bells. ACLU, Lambda Legal, any org specifically in disability rights. This checks so many boxes. Sue them into oblivion. Wow, her boss just shot his entire company in the foot with that. Back that up in several locations and prepare for battle. This is not going to go well for them at all. I'm so sorry your wife had to go through this, but she did nothing wrong and will likely be fully vindicated and will come out as victorious to the point where if they are able to afford staying open, they'll never do this again as long as they operate. I wish you both the best of luck going forward. The best thing you can do is be there for each other, as the law is absolutely on your side here. Unbelievable. Okay. Let's see the next one. That one's just, that's depressing. I am at... Oh. Okay, there's nothing there. Alright, I went to it and there's nothing. School makes allergic 6-year-old responsible for fending off a never-ending barrage of peanuts. This has been an ongoing issue since the second day of school, where he was given peanut butter crackers. We sort of brushed it off as a new school year. New students, teachers a bit frazzled, dealing with first graders, no real big. His allergy isn't even severe, isn't really severe, but not fun to deal with and can potentially become life-threatening. We had already informed the school of his allergy before the year. We'd already informed the school of his allergy before the year started and even talked directly to this teacher about it, because their default snack during the day, if no other parents brought in a snack, is peanut butter crackers. We even offered to purchase a special alternative for him, but they said it was unnecessary as they have other alternatives. So we figured the issue was over with, when a few weeks later it happened again. This time they claimed he grabbed another student's snack and ran off to eat it. Oh. before they could stop him. Now my little one can be a little bit of a hardhead. I can potentially see this happening. So again, we talked to him about peanuts and how dangerous they are to him. He continued to adamantly deny doing that and said Mrs. gave them to him. Well, we then decided a meeting with the principal is in order. Not to blame the teacher or accuse her of lying, but to hopefully get this under control. Again, a few weeks and no more issues, then it happened again. Once again, the story is he grabbed it and ran off and ate the whole package before we caught him. Okay, so a 6-year-old managed to grab an unopened package of crackers, elude a teacher and an aide and eat the whole package before he's caught. He's crying and swearing to us if he was given them. And after so many incidences, we have been starting to believe him. Another meeting with the principal is teacher gets us, do not worry, this won't happen again. We have another long sit down with our son to explain that even if it's given to you, ask to make sure it doesn't have peanuts or other nuts in it. Then the very next school day, the meeting was on Friday, he was given another snack of peanut butter crackers, but this time he asks if there's nuts in it and he was given the alternative. We figure it kind of sucks that the kid has to be the adult right here, but at the end of the day, he's learning to ask about nuts. We send an email to the principal detailing the issue and say that the next stop is the school board if he's given peanuts again. We get a response back of if he's asking now, what's the problem? He should have known to ask to begin with. We are teachers, not parents. Oh, come on. That's ridiculous. We have no issues for a while until this week. Some parent brought in a PB&J sandwiches for snack time and he was given one. He forgot to ask about nuts but thought it's only the crackers. We find out that the parents were aware of a nut allergy in the class. It's on the parent's snack sheet and brought in just jelly one that was made separate from the peanut butter ones. He was not given this one. We spent a night at the hospital. He has endless talks with him about nuts and we do our best to teach him. Some of the blame has to be put on the teachers here, right? Okay, we have had endless talks with him about nuts and do our best to teach him, but some of the blame has to be on the teachers here, right? Do schools not have an obligation to deal with allergies? The school lunch seems to have zero issues with this and has never given him a nut when there are several things on the menu rotating that can contain the item. He gets a special tray that was nowhere near any nuts. This is Indiana. Any help is highly appreciated. I grew up with a tree nut allergy. Oop. Oh no, oh no. What am I doing? Oh. I grew up with a tree nut allergy, so my parents had to deal with the same issues you're facing now. It's great that you're so proactive in teaching your son to stand up for himself. My mom did that for me, and it's a skill that comes in handy. Sadly, people can be really stupid about allergies, and it puts kids at risk. Lots of parents and teachers would tempt me to ignore my mom's rules and eat the class treats. Thank God I said no, because it's more than once those treats contain nuts. It's a heavy burden to put on a 6-year-old, and your principal's way out of line blaming your son for these reactions. You say your son's allergy isn't severe, but any allergy that could be life-threatening is severe. And if the school should be taking it seriously, in my opinion, they're violating your son's rights in the ADA by giving him peanut-contaminated food, and the reality is that's difficult to prove. ADA complaints, or even get them resolved. I've tried. Here's what I recommend. Bring a novelty lunchbox and fill it with your special treats for your son. Bring it to school and insist that they put it in the classroom. At snack time, he gets those snacks and nothing else. I was obsessed with the Lion King, so we had a 3D Simba lunchbox that was frankly very rad. Tell your son to stop accepting food from teachers, full stop. He can only have food at lunchbox or from a special lunchbox. At lunchtime or from a special lunchbox. If the school complains, remind them that you've already caused an allergic reaction 3 times and you need to protect your son. Can he read? Start teaching him to read ingredients labels and recognize the word peanuts. There are lots of big words in ingredient lists, but the allergies are usually listed in bold, repeated at the bottom. Make it second nature to check all his food. This has saved me more than once as an adult. In case you didn't already know, FARE has been the #1 resource in food allergies for literal decades. They might have more ideas. Most important, are there EpiPens at school? Where are they kept, and do the teachers know where they're kept? Can teachers name the signs of dangerous reactions? Will the school administer EpiPens in an emergency? My biggest fear here isn't that they give your son peanuts again. It's that they'll give him peanuts and then ignore a life-threatening reaction. If they're clueless enough to give your son peanut butter crackers, what will they do if he goes into anaphylactic shock? You're right. The school has an obligation to protect your son, and they're failing him. This needs to go to the school board, the superintendent, and whoever else holds power in the school. Trust your instincts. This feels like a big deal, because it is. Don't wait for them to make him sick a fourth time. Good luck. Let's see. We got any other good ones? Caught a thief who found their wallets trying to steal their car license. They pulled a gun on the thief. Ooh, okay. I was arrested for preventing my property from being stolen. Police refused to release my car from impound without impound fees. I was at the North Park Mall in Dallas this week with a friend when I noticed my car keys and wallet were missing. I did not know where or how they went missing, but I immediately walked out of my car. My friend told me to come 5 lanes over and watch for someone pinging my car. Sure enough, they were about 20 to 40 minutes later. I saw the lights and horn honk on my car a few dozen times before I think I saw someone coming over to it. I walked up to interrupt the guy, and he stopped and turned around to walk away. My wallet was in his hand, and so were my keys, so I drew my gun and told him to stop. My friend went the other way, and I blocked him from the other side. Well, anyone who knows North Park knows where this is going. About less than a minute later, police officers were yelling at me to drop the pistol and to get on the ground. The police detained 3 of us, and as soon as determined that the car, wallet, and keys, $500 in cash, the guy had on him was mine. They saw the LTC I had in my wallet. They told me since I pulled a gun when I did not have my wallet on me, I was not properly licensed to carry a pistol. How goes AC? It's going alright. I need 30 iron nuggets, which is kind of insane. I call bullshit on it, so it's obvious that they were making it up. I am arrested anyway, and my friend is free to go. But since he had not insured on my car, they have to tow it, even though my friend could have driven it himself. I was taken to the station and put in a holding cell for about an hour or two before I was released with no charges. Not one police officer talked to me while they were outside, telling me where I could go. They had my phone and wallet back to me. They told me my gun was in property and gave me a location where I could request it back. The car is in the impound and will require impound fees to be paid. I went Friday and I was able to head to the gun store where I brought the pistol and got a receipt of a reprint of the receipt. The car is in the impound and will require impound fees to get paid. Yeah. I made an appointment and was able to get it returned with very little hassle. I was told on the phone I would need an insurance card to get my car released from the Dallas Auto Pound, as well as my driver's license. I arrived with my insurance card and license only to be told I would need a copy of the title as well. I head back to the tax office and get that only to learn it's now too late to get the car back. I'll have to go get it on Monday while the fees are being racked up. Beyond furious. Obviously, I'm going to be out of pocket of everything. My question is, how do I recoup this money? Oop. Ah. Since my pistol and all other property was returned to me, I'm guessing that I'm pretty much free and clear criminally, as the police usually do not release firearms. There's an ongoing criminal case. I'm mainly concerned about the money. It's not going to break my bank, but 4 days worth of impound fees are going to be expensive really quick. Edit. I figured I would have to do this. I could legally shot him in the back if he tried to run away with my property. It's Texas. If you run away and drop my property, I cannot shoot you. If you run away with my property, then the law says it's okay. Let's see what the top comments are. It was towed from the mall lot because you were arrested in the lot near it. Was the guy with your keys arrested or named somewhere? Doesn't appear in Dallas City Code. It doesn't appear Dallas City Code allows the officers to tow the car in this situation, as there's no accident that would trigger the insurance obligation part of it. So you'll want to pay the money, get your car back, then request a tow hearing to seek reimbursement for the wrongful charges. Texas is a state that allows named driver policies, meaning if you're not on the card, it's not covered, regardless of permission. So it's worth noting this may not be accurate. I'm covered driving any car on my policy, regardless of whose car it is. Does this friend not have his own insurance? Honestly, I'd start by getting my car out. Odds are very good that you're going to end up having to eat the towing fees. After that, I'd walk to my city councilman office, explain what happened, and see if they can work on getting the city to refund the tow fees. If that doesn't work, you could explore suing the city. But at amounts you're probably looking at, you'll have to ask whether or not it's worth the time you'll spend. As far as the arrest, you can make a complaint with either the PD's IAD or ask to speak to the on-duty watch commander. I suspect that the officer's actions will not rise to the level of an unlawful or violation of agency policy, though. What do they say? Why did they say your vehicle needed to be moved? Was it lawfully parked in a safe place? If it was, that's something to bring up to your city councilman. Just curious here. Could he sue the city in small claims? I have no idea how much tows and impound cost. Let's say that adds up to $1,500. That's well below most, if not all, small claims amount. Alright, let's go check another one. Beheaded cat is alive but never coming back home. What? Oh, this one's old school Reddit. Original post. Alright. My mom has a cat and has repeatedly sent threats all weekend claiming that she beheaded him. My mom has my cat and has repeatedly sent threats all weekend claiming that she beheaded him. However, police say the cat is still alive, and when I showed up to collect him, she refused to give him up. How can I get my cat back? For reference, I'm 23 and live in Texas. My mom also lives in Texas. My mom has a history of mental health issues. However, she was seeing a doctor and everything was straightening out. I moved in with my boyfriend, and when we moved, the landlords refused to let us have a pet. My mom offered to take care of our kitty, and she agreed that I can get him anytime I want to. Ghost! No, a ghost! What? What do you want from me, ghost? This is the end of me, is it? This is how I go, huh? A human? A real life human? I've been on this island for a long time. I've never seen a human. Oh, you just moved here? Okay, well that explains everything. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Wisp. Nice to meet you. Hi, well, I'll just be honest with you. I love the darkness, especially nighttime, but I'm afraid of ghosts. Whew, this little run-in with you has me all shaken up. Scared some pieces of my spirit right out of me. Looks like they flew off when we bumped into each other. There's no way I can stay like this. What a pickle. I'm sorry to ask this of you, but could you maybe collect the pieces of my spirit that flew away? Otherwise, I'll be like this forever. I cannot deal with that. Please help. I promise there'll be something good in it for you. Now, let's see here. There are 5 pieces of my spirit in all. You should be able to find them floating around the island. You'll need a net to catch them. Counting on you. Thank you. Alright. Net. Anyway, what were we saying? Over the weekend, yeah, so we have a verbal and written agreement that Kitty is still mine, and she'll let me get him whenever my living situation allows pets. Over the weekend, my mom had a mental break. She stole a bunch of our boyfriend's stuff and mailed it to me to sell on eBay. When I refused to do that for her and send the box back to her, she got mad. She sent me messages about, or she sent me message after message. Oh. Where was I? She sent message after message about how she beheaded my cat and its head will be on my doorstep on Monday morning. I also found out she quit taking her medication and went off the deep end. I called the cops and animal control. They did a wellness check, and to my surprise, my kitty was alive and healthy. After the cops left, she demanded that I come by her house and get Kitty. And if I don't, she'll behead him for real this time? So I went to her house, and when I went to claim Kitty, she refused to give him up. I had to call the cops back out, and according to them, since the cat was technically lived with her for more than 3 days, the cat is legally hers. So I showed them our contract, her threatening messages, and showed them where she told me to get him. They said that they only can take custody of the cat if she actually harms him. And since he was still alive and unharmed, they say I need to order a court order. to officially get custody of the cat. After I went home, she sent me threatening texts and I blocked her number. So I ended up going to the hospital because I thought I was having a heart attack. Anyways, I don't know what to do here. All I know is I believe her threats are credible and need immediate custody of my cat before she actually crosses the line and actually hurts him. Also, my landlords are understanding of the situation and will let me house my cat. What do I do right now? I've had him since he was 2 days old. Aww. I nursed him and took total ownership of him. He's now 10 years old and I just want him to be safe. Aww. Not a lawyer and don't live in Texas, but you still... Since you have proof that your mother is not doing well and sending texts proving so, you can probably call APS Adult Protective Services to check on her. Perhaps get her admitted for a bit. It doesn't even have to be voluntary on her part if it's bad enough. It would be good for both her and the cat, because if she's threatening the cat, then she's most likely a threat to herself and should be treated as such. According to the police, doing that wouldn't give me custody of the cat, though. Yes, you would have to sue her for that. But first thing is first, make sure the cat is safe, and after all, she might see the summons of court and really do something bad to make sure you don't get the cat at all. Even if you don't end up getting the cat at all in the end, I think it's, I would think it's worth help to know that she's at least alive. You perfectly explained my dilemma. Like I said in the post, I need immediate custody of the cat to prevent it from being harmed. That's why I posted here. She's involuntary committed or taken for psych evaluation / hold, and you have access to her home. I'm sure you'd be able to retrieve the cat. The police will do the same as what they're doing now. Nothing, as it's a civil dispute. If your mother, by some miracle, sues you for your cat, and you can prove ownership, there's no legal concept of custody for cats. The cat is legally property that is yours, and you can legally retrieve it without breaking in or breaking any other laws. That's fine. Sounds like she's a danger to herself and others and needs to go to a psych hold anyway. Oh, that would be crazy. Imagine your mom has your cat. Why is it a civil matter? Is this not theft? I had verbal and written agreements to have someone come watch my property and they threatened to destroy it and refused to give it back. How is that not criminal? If it's criminal for other types of property, why is it different for pets? Because cops get to decide when they feel like doing their job and when they don't, and that's just what they say when they don't want to deal with it. There's more logical element in there. When they do try to determine ownership with two consenting parties, they get it wrong at least half the time and deprive the rightful owner of their property. Judges generally do a better job, so better leave it to them. And let's see the update. First off, thank you for those who commented with helpful advice. I didn't feel like advice to steal my cat bat was legal, thus being in this subreddit. So I took one user's advice to contact the director of animal control in my mom's city. She basically told me that the police have no idea what they're doing, especially when it comes to the law regarding animals. She said that the only thing I can do to get them to understand is report my cat as stolen property. She said the police will understand what to do if I reference my cat as property and not an animal. I went to the police station and the police threw me around again. Despite I tried to report stolen property, they got upset at me and claimed the cat isn't property. For 5 minutes of arguing, they sent a cop out to the lobby and he agreed to read my mom's texts. The cop read them and said that since she claimed that the cat is mine and she also told me to collect him, I can go to her house with a police officer and he will assist me in getting her to hand me back over my stolen property. We get to my mom's house and she's not there. We look around the outside of her house and find no signs of Kitty either. I call her and ask where she is, and I told her that I was outside the house with her police. She said, in quote, I took the cat and ran off into Oklahoma and I don't think I'm ever coming back. The police said that they can't help me since they don't have jurisdiction in Oklahoma. I went to the courthouse to file small claims against my mom, but the filing fee is $171, so I left because I can't afford it. On the way home, I contacted Adult Protective Services in one last ditch effort and I was on hold for over 3 hours, so I hung up and filed a complaint on their website. I also called my grandparents, and they were the ones who tipped my mom off, which is why she ran into Oklahoma. My mom played the poor me card, so my family bought into it, and somehow I'm now the bad guy in this situation, who is trying to murder the cat. And when I get home, I cut everyone out, all my family. I separated Oh. Every single tie I had to them. I also wait. I've had the cat since he was 2 days old, and if I'm being open about the situation, I was a victim of childhood abuse. That cat was the only thing who showed me love for most of my childhood and teen years. And it kills me I won't be able to get him back. I ended up hurting myself and had a nervous breakdown, and now I'm getting help for my own mental health. The situation broke me, and right now I'm trying to recover. Thank you for listening, everyone. TLDR, my cat is gone and I'll never get him back. Aww. I couldn't lose my cat. That would suck. Update to kid and a cat cult that couldn't rub one out. Mom arrested and CPS held. I told my math teacher about my mother and she got arrested. I got my 13-year-old brother after school yesterday and we went to see my math teacher. I didn't tell him all the details, but I told him my mother wanted to put a device on me to keep me from having sex. My brother and I showed him the healed burn from like you guys suggested. At first he wanted to call our mom. Oh, where's the original one? The original post, okay. I'm 15. My family is deeply religious. I respect that, but sometimes, you know, I'm 15 and I have to, you know, rub one out. I try not to, but like I can't concentrate on anything else if I don't. And like if I see a pretty girl, it'll get worse. It basically feels like sleeping to me. If I don't do it, I can't function. I don't know if I'm normal or not. I'm definitely ashamed of it, but I'm not lying, I promise. My mom doesn't believe me and my dad is out of the picture, so I can't talk to him and ask if this is a guy thing. Anyway, my mom has tried a lot of things to get me to stop. She took my door off, for example. She grounded me and stuff. I tried to hide it so she gives up now, but she decided to get some kind of device and put it on me so that I can't touch myself. She seems serious and it wouldn't be out of character for her. She also does other weird things, like on Fridays we can't eat at all because of Jesus. I try to respect that, but oftentimes I go out on a bike ride and get food somewhere. I get hungry. What I want to know is, can I refuse to wear her device? I pretty much know I will lose my phone. She'll probably sell it so I can't get it back and stuff if I refuse, but I personally think that going a while without my phone is kind of fine. I want my grades to stay okay so that I can get into college and have some control over myself, and I can't do that if I'm constantly hot and bothered by every girl I see because, well, you know. So yeah, this is kind of embarrassing. I hope I don't need to share my personal information with anyone here. I live in Ohio and go to a private school. If she tries to put any device on you, call Child Protective Services. Does she ever take you to a doctor? No, we're not allowed to go to the doctor for religious reasons. My younger brother, who's 13, broke his arm last year and had to go when he got in trouble. Oh, and he got in trouble for it? Oof. Alright, and let's see the update. I got my 13-year-old brother after school yesterday and we went to see my math teacher. I didn't tell him all the details, but I told him my mother wanted to put a device on me to keep me from having sex, and my brother and I showed him the healed burn things like you guys suggested. At first he wanted to call our mom, but actually made my brother cry in fear, so he didn't, because I told him... Oh my gosh. Because I told him I'd run away and call the police if he did. He called a bunch of people. About an hour later, the police and a bunch of other people showed up. Apparently, they'd already been suspicious about our neighborhood. They told us, or they talked us away from each other, and I had to tell several people what happened. There's one lady who I told everything really specific. She was very nice and didn't make me feel ashamed at all. We went back home with them, and I showed the police where my mother kept drugs that I'm pretty sure were illegal. She wasn't there, but all my 6 siblings who were homeschooled were. Then they went down the street to where my mother and preacher were, and I don't know what happened, but they arrested her, I think for the drugs and other stuff, and someone else whose house they were at, because they were doing bad drugs, I think. That's what they usually do, but not the preacher. I think they're going to look into it, though. There are a bunch of people and police who talked to all of us more, and eventually they took us to a place they said we'd stay for now, like a shelter or something. I should have done all of this years ago. I feel really bad because I could have had my siblings taken better care of. I don't really know what's happening or gonna tell them but what's gonna happen, but the place I'm in now is way cleaner than I'm used to, and we have clothes and stuff and food, and we don't have to watch toddlers anymore. They weren't happy when they figured out stuff like the burns that my 11 and 10-year-olds who can't read at all. They're also very, oh, this sounds crazy. Yeah, this is a situation where CPS, yeah, definitely. This is a situation where CPS should be involved. Oh man, that's crazy. That's crazy. 10 and 11-year-old sisters who can't read at all and have burn marks on them. Oh my Lord, okay. Okay. Thank you to everyone who helped me. Wow. Alright. Well, I don't know, I think that I'm gonna end it there. Thanks for watching. Take it easy.